Hey guys, so I went to Siargao in November 2019 and it was one of the most amazing experiences I've had in my local travels in the Philippines. The place was very updated and it had night outs, it had parties, it had amazing restaurants with different cuisines. It had all the nature stuff that you want if you're having a vacation, but it also had all the city stuff. We stayed at Eddie's Beach Resort along General Luna. General Luna is a street where most of the parties, the night outs, the restaurants are situated. So this was a very, very nice location. They serve food but only breakfast. The price that we paid for Eddie's Beach Resort is very affordable. They had a garden leading towards the room, and the room is very spacious. We actually had 2 double beds and 1 single bed, but we didn't use the third bed. The only problem we've had with this room is that it's always moist inside. But pretty much it was spacious. It had its own bathroom. And the most amazing part is the backside, which has its own beach view. You will only need to step out of the room and you can have this view. Most of the people were out in the beach area all around Siargao, so when we arrived it was just us, and also because it was off peak, so November wasn't really summer in the Philippines, so it's just mainly us. If there were guests, they pretty much kept to themselves and they weren't noisy at all. When I came here, I thought to myself, this enough has impressed me, and I haven't been around yet. I just arrived and I'm already impressed with Siargao. Yeah, I could get lost in this. I could get used to this. Every tricycle driver in Siargao pretty much know where the bars are, where the restaurants are, so you wouldn't get lost. It's like they're all coordinated.
Ay, ano, mga tabi-tabi. Alam mo, this reminds me of Lombok. What's Lombok? Ay, ano siya, isang ganito, party island sa Indonesia naman.
So we decided to go to a Peruvian restaurant called Cev. The menu is impressive. They had a combination of different flavors, but they all blend together very well. The interior is also very quaint and very bohemian at the same time. So what draws us the most is that the food and the drinks are both good, and you don't feel guilty despite all the ingredients that are there, because there's an option where there's rice, there's also an option where there's just like quinoa or maybe no grain at all. Gina wanted dessert and she had to search from Google and she found this. So basically everything is mapped. You wouldn't have any problems if you want to find something because you can pretty much see them in Google Maps. So, fried ice cream. I'm not really a fan of fried ice cream because I've seen it being done in Cold Stone Creamery, and basically it's just ice cream that they scoop and put on a cold, very cold pan, metal pan, or a cold stone, basically the name of the store. But this one is different because they really made it from scratch. So they have their own ice cream mixture because the metal pan is super cold after much stirring or I don't know, cold frying, and then they roll it up and it turns out like this. Figured, maybe I should try a different flavor because at first I wasn't gonna try it, but I was impressed how they did it. So mine is, I think, a salted caramel, and Gina's was like, oh, I forgot. Maybe she got the salted caramel and I got the chocolate chip. I can't remember, but it was good. you know, you have to check out this place, Ice and Roll. But they do close at maybe 11. They're closed because we went back the next night and, well, they're closed. So, day one of our trip, Gina basically coordinated with someone from Siargao and they referred these tour guides to us. They picked us up from Eddie's Beach Resort and led us to a beach where all we had to do is like converge there because there's a lot of people in one tour. But before we go on tour, we were given time to have breakfast. So Jean had breakfast and I had coffee.
Ano? Hindi. Kaya ang lang, kiling lang. Tapos feeling ko, bakit mga Indonesian ko na coding sa bigyan ko din. They want a piece of them every so often.
I do both.
Oo, kumaki ng braso ko. Kaya pag, ano bang trick daw, pag mag-picture, kailangan medyo nakaangat eh. Para hindi siya
Ka-overextend. Ganyan, ganyan. Ganyan ba? Ganyan.
oh, yun. Yung mga gold.
I know that group tours would have so many people to wait for, but I do wish that they started earlier because we were prompt when they picked us up, told us that they would arrive around 6 o'clock. We were there and then we waited so long on this part of the beach. I didn't mind having a lot of people because that's what's expected from a tour, but I did mind that we had to wait for longer, like maybe an hour and a half. So pretty much the entire day, I lost about 2 hours. And getting to each of the spots, from one part to the other, it takes you about an hour to an hour and a half. So it's very crucial that they start early, and I don't know why they don't realize that. And that's the only problem. Oh, the other problem is that the motor of the boats are very noisy. I think they needed 2 motors just to run it and navigate through the waves. And because it is a long trip, more than an hour. Make sure that you have one of your best snorkel gear there because it's pretty dark, and also there's not much to see underneath, and also because there's so many people with you and it's not even peak, it's not even summer, so it was kind of uncomfortable to really swim. But you enjoy the water. Like most of the snorkeling areas in the Philippines, the water is warm. It's very good. It's very relaxing, and it's off peak, but the water is really good. Oh, more people. More people are coming. want gulay.
Welcome to Caraga!
Welcome to Caraga!
Welcome to Sumigaw sa Surigao!
It's low tide. We had to get off the boat, they have to pick up the boat and get through this very narrow stretch. And you can see here that the water is really clear. I was filming using my GoPro and it was wet, but you can see from this film how clear and how you can actually see what's underneath the water with my wet GoPro. So it's really impressive. However, I don't know why we didn't snorkel here in this part. It's just that the water gets blurred pag nag-swim tayo.
Naka-video to. Ayan. Look at that! Mukhang ano naman. Yay! Salamat. Yan na, malalim na siya. Sige. Thank you.
Tumigil ka mamaya.
Magtumingin. Maganda magtingin muna. Okay, vlog. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Nandito siya sa may arawan.
Hello!
Hello! Ganun siya. Lumalapit pa siya, oh.
Sabi ni Kuya, told you friendly siya.
Friendly siya, eh. Ang ganda! Tapos transparent yung ulo.
Po, tingnan niyo lang kung ano sa palagay niyo, babae yan o lalaki.
Aba, paano malaman? Teka.
Wala niyo na lang, ma'am.
Lalaki.
Babae yan, ma'am.
Babae?
Po,
Sige nga,
kasi may
parang-
maraming dots yan.
Maraming?
Dots sa ulo.
Oh.
At saka may mga puti din naman yan sa gitna na. Tingnan niyo, ma'am.
So, ito yung kulay brown.
Opo.
Sana ang kulay, ano pa yung iba? Blue. May kulay blue.
Hindi sila lalabas. Marami, ma'am.
Yung gumagano na dalawa.
Opo, ma'am. Yung iba, ma'am, wala na kasi
Saan linaw-linaw ko ng tubig? Kitang-kita sila, oh.
Opo.
Ba't putol naman ka-tentacles mo? Patay ka na ba? Isa lang yung ano niya. Pwede na pilayan na.
Kulay brown lang. Yung mga clear, makikita ba
This is
yung
the only time I've seen a brown
Hawakan
jellyfish.
yun, sarap hawakan.
brown, blue, clear?
Usually clear eh.
Oo, usually clear. Clear yung alam ko. Jellyfish! Sige nga, anong silbi ng jellyfish sa ecosystem? Tagakain ng...
There were two options. One option was a part where there's not much jellyfish, but we can swim. And there's a portion where there are so many jellyfish, but we cannot swim. So we took the jellyfish part first because we wanted to see them. I was surprised that these jellyfish are not poisonous. They don't sting. Here we can see more corals. I barely saw any fish in this part. Maybe the small ones, but I really can't remember. But again, the water is very warm despite all that rain. And there's not much color that I see here. However, the water is clear, so that's really impressive. And I would have wanted to see more colors, but I guess this is not the part where we can see that kind of corals. We wanted to stay because the water was very relaxing. It was just so nice to just stay in one part, or maybe just continue like doing that swim float thing. But we had to go. We had to take lunch back at the main station. The lunch is part of the tour. So in this part, you can see the waves are too strong. They had to push us. At the same time, the boatman had to balance between pushing us and going back to the boat and then using his paddle, because it was also low tide at this part, at this narrow part.
Purple crab.
I'll be back soon, so there's more in Siargao. I hope you stay tuned for the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye!